What's up, guys? Cody here with Fountain Atelier, and since I'm in the middle of my Hudson River School Adventure series, I thought it'd be good to take a minute and talk a little more about its founder, Thomas Cole, and critique some of his paintings. What's crazy is that Thomas Cole wasn't even from America. He was actually an Englishman whose family moved here when he was only 17. Born in 1801, he and his family were smack dab in the middle of the Industrial Revolution in England, and they soon found themselves out of work. When Cole's family immigrated to Ohio for a fresh start in 1818, he knew he had to help out with the finances. He started out as an engraver, but a traveling artist in the community sparked his interest in painting, and that led him into trying out portraiture. He was self-taught, and as he wandered around Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York looking for commission opportunities, he couldn't help but notice the beautiful, untouched wilderness around him. What a stark difference from the manicured pastures and towns he grew up in over in the UK. In 1825, he took a trip up the Hudson River that would change his life and the course of American art for the next 50 years. He explored the Catskill Mountain region of the Hudson River Valley and filled sketchbooks with drawings of dramatic cliffs, waterfalls, lakes, and trees. He turned these sketches into 5 paintings that were displayed in a bookshop window in New York City. These paintings attracted the attention of influential artists and patrons such as engraver Asher Durand, artist John Trumbull, William Dunlap, and Henry Wadsworth. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Instead of copying old themes from Europe, here was an artist who was making America's vast wilderness his star subject. They quickly purchased Cole's paintings, and his career took off from there. He took more trips to upstate New York and New England looking for fresh subject matter. Commissions began rolling in, and he kept busy. He was a steady exhibitor at the annual National Academy of Design and Art Union shows in New York City. His work was really influential for many young artists at the time, and his focus on American landscape gave the United States its first true artistic identity. In fact, one of his only students was the young Frederick Church, who would go on to become one of the most famous American artists in the 19th century. Eventually, he settled in the small town of Catskill, New York, right on the banks of the Hudson River, and married Maria Bartow in 1836. They lived at Cedar Grove, a working farm with orchard and crops, with a beautiful view of the Catskill Mountains to the west. The home is now open for tours and is a National Historic Site. Cole was best known for his allegorical painting series. He was a deeply spiritual man and often used landscape as a vehicle for much more heady themes. A great example of this is his famous series, The Course of Empire. Personally, this is one of my favorite series of work that he did. At the time of its creation, from about 1833 to 1836, the wild areas around Cole started to disappear as the land was cultivated. Worried that the very thing that made America unique was vanishing, Cole created this series of paintings as a kind of warning to the country. The first painting, titled The Savage State, depicts a wild landscape. Cole played it up by adding dramatic clouds, a sunset, natives and primitive hunters chasing after deer. A prominent mountain appears in the distance. It really kind of creates that wilderness vibe. The second painting, The Arcadian or Pastoral State, shows the same landscape, except now it's a lot more calm. We can see shepherds with their sheep, what looks like a temple of some sort, indicating organized religion is happening, and a town along the water's edge. The cut down trees in the bottom corners of the painting symbolize man's domination over nature. In the third painting, The Consummation of Empire, civilization has completely taken over. Massive Greek and Roman style buildings dominate the scene as hordes of people fill the streets. Our cliff still peeks out in the background as humanity is seemingly at its peak. But all good things must end. Power, greed, and the innate selfishness of human nature take over and result in war. In the fourth painting, Destruction, you can see things aren't looking so great. A battle is happening and violence is everywhere. People are being slaughtered, buildings are on fire, and chaos erupts. Bodies fill the fountain in the right foreground, and dead children lie on the steps as a woman is pulled down by her hair. Scary stuff. Finally, in the fifth painting, Desolation, everything is quiet. no more war, no more people. All that's left is ruins. The moon rises as we see our mountains still standing in the background. Things have come full circle and nature is beginning to overtake the ruins and things are returning to a wild state. Wow, what a series. What do you think? Leave a comment below and give me your opinion. For me, this is a powerful set of paintings, a true masterpiece. His warning to America back in the 1830s, I think, still holds true today. Cole loved paintings that had a moral lesson to them and did several more with big themes. In his later work, he wasn't even all that concerned about reproducing exactly what he saw in nature, but he used it as a starting point to tell his narrative. This rubbed some artists at the time the wrong way who thought his work was turning too sentimental and not being truthful enough to the subject matter, but what do you do? Cole died in 1848 at a young age from pleurisy, a respiratory condition that sprung up suddenly. He was immediately seen as one of the most important artists, if not the most important, that artists had produced at that time, and was mourned around the nation. On my Hudson River School adventure trip, I was actually able to spend some time at Cole's home, Cedar Grove, and do some paintings, see his studio space, and learn more about his life. I also got the chance to paint at several of his favorite locations in the Catskills, including Catskill Falls. If you want to see how that painting went, make sure you watch this video here. And if you want to learn more about the Hudson River School movement, head over to this playlist. Until next time.